Hi guys, this is Vitaly with AFT Dispatch and A2C Logistics, and in today's video, I'd like to look over the three of the most reliable indicators of market demand to get an idea of what's going on in the freight markets today and what we can expect in the near future. But first, roll the intro. Welcome back guys. Before we get started, I'd like to ask you to please like the video, be sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss a single release of our videos, where every Friday we're talking about something that could benefit you in your trucking businesses, in your trucking careers, as well as cover the loads we've successfully booked for our customers, consisting of leased on owner operators and carriers operating under their own MC authorities, running under our truck dispatch services. As always guys, big thank you for all the likes you've provided in all the previous videos. Please do keep them coming. Let's talk about these market indicators, figure out what's going on in the markets. But first, I want to say a big thank you to each and every one of you guys for reaching out over the past couple weeks, trying to figure out, hey, where are the videos, what's going on, are you okay, how's the family, and kind of along those lines. Guys, really appreciate that. Fortunately, everything's fine. I was out of town, and there were all these flight cancellations you may have heard of in the news. I got mixed up in that whole mess, and that dragged out for a bit longer than expected. I'm now back, and we're back to our regularly scheduled programming. Thank you guys for reaching out. Really appreciate that a lot. Thanks a lot. Now guys, as far as what's going on in the markets, I took quite a bit of notes here, and I will make a follow-up video to this without the loads portion in the coming days, and we're going to explore this in more in depth, kind of with more detail. This is really important stuff. It's on everyone's mind, so let's look over it. So the three of the most reliable indicators of market demand are going to be your tender volume, your tonnage, and your tender rejection rate. Now basically, tender volume is looking at the dollar amount in terms of freight that is exchanged hands over a period of time. Tonnage is an important indicator in the trucking industry because tonnage is looking over the amount of freight weight-wise that was transferred using trucks. Really important in the trucking industry. And finally, tender rejection rates are basically, the way I think of it is, when the rejections are high, that means brokers are being rejected by carriers. Truckers are basically shopping around for better rates, and brokers are having a hard time moving the freight. And right now we have the opposite in all three. We have low tender volume, we have low tonnage, and we have low tender rejection rates, which means that truckers are taking whatever they can get. So very bad, does not bode well for the trucking industry. Now we finished off first quarter. March is normally a very strong month. The end of March is usually super strong, and it's a good indicator of what's to come. Now we're not seeing that this year. Generally speaking, at the end of March you have shippers stocking up shelves, getting ready for the summer season. Again, we're not seeing that. Instead, we're seeing drops in volume as well as rates, and this is not helping at all. Part of the reason for this is because the spot market has an oversupply of trucking capacity. In other words, there are too many trucks for a limited amount of freight that's available to move. And in addition to this, we also have consumers that are they're shifting their spending habits, right? So we saw this a couple years ago, and it's happening again. So what this means is that consumers are switching from buying goods to buying services, spending their money on goods and products to spending on services, travel, entertainment, things like that. And that is going to have a major effect on the entire freight ecosystem. In addition to this, we have the whole issue with expensive fuel, and it's not only hurting truckers who are spending tons and tons of money on diesel, it's also hurting regular consumers who are having to fill up their gas tanks. And more expensive fuel means less discretionary income that can be spent on products, which again is affecting the trucking industry. Currently, what we have is a level of inventories that is simply too high, and purchasing is slowing down. Now, purchasing slowing down is on both ends. So on the one hand, you have consumers not buying product, so purchasing slows down there, but we also have stores that are not ordering, they're not purchasing products and moving them from warehouses and distribution centers into their stores because the shelves are not clearing out, and so this freight is just sitting around there. And in all, we have too many trucks in the market and not enough freight. Ultimately, it might seem counterintuitive, thinking, well, wait a minute, how can you say that you have too much freight and high inventories? Well, it actually makes sense. You have freight, but it's not moving. So inventories remain high, but it's not out in the market to be moved because there are no sales and there's no purchasing. Volume is actually down. So we do have that issue. Another issue I'm running into with especially the newer guys is operating costs that are way too high, which makes sense. A lot of you guys have financed brand new equipment. or used equipment that's been went up in price, that results in higher values, very expensive insurance premiums. If you're really new, a lot of brokers don't want to work with you, so it makes it really, really difficult to be able to do that. And with the surge of new entrants coming into the market, and this has been going on since 2019. There's been a record-setting month in August of 2019 with the highest number of newly minted MCs, and that number continues to grow. Now, we are on a slowdown since 2019, but the numbers will continue to increase, which will ultimately bring in a lot more new entrants into the trucking industry, which will further dilute pricing and affect everybody in trucking. Now, the other issue is that the declining rates and volume, plus high fuel costs and large loans that have been taken out, and all the additional expenses that you guys are incurring and having to service, obviously are making it very, very difficult. So I'm hoping that you guys have taken the advice and have set aside some of the funds for truck money and just for a rainy day fund, because as I always say, what comes up must come down, and vice versa. So what we're seeing right now is a major decline that will likely continue. Now, in the follow-up video, I will go into more details to this, but for the sake of brevity, we're going to leave that here as a possible market shakeout, where the unstable companies are going to sift themselves out, and you need to make sure that you are stable, that you're able to get through this period of time. Now, our customers are still making very good money, albeit less than they were, but nevertheless, they're all very, very profitable. So definitely stick around, keep pushing, keep plugging away. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below. If this is a useful video, please smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'm going to switch over the camera. We're going to look over the loads that we book for our customers, and I'll see you guys in just a moment. Welcome back, guys. Let's take a look at some of these loads. Again, really great weeks. You want to keep plugging away as the market declines. Our guys will always take care of you, whether you're a leased owner op or a carrier. Doesn't matter to us. We want what's best for you. We're going to start off with a vented van. Did very, very well. Coming out of Florence, Vermont, going to Valparaiso, Indiana. It's a 42,000 pound load of minerals. It's a non-hazmat load. 845 miles, booked at $2,000. Got him $237 a mile. Then Hammond, Indiana to Dayton, Ohio. It's a 43,000 pound load of food products. 273 miles, booked at $1,380. Got him $505 a mile. Then Trenton, Ohio to Warren, Michigan. It's a full load of beer, load to scale, 256 miles, booked at $1,300. Got him $508 a mile. The next load was a Tonu. We collected $200. It was out of Oxford, Michigan to Minerva, Ohio. $200 truck order not used. Then out of Southgate, Michigan to Cincinnati, Ohio, a 34,000 pound load of dry food. It was basically groceries. 251 miles, booked at $1,450. Got him $578 a mile. Then Leipzig, Ohio to Charleston, Tennessee. It's a 45,000 pound load of dry goods. 473 miles, booked at $1,800. Got him $381 a mile. And then Cleveland, Tennessee to McDonough, Georgia. It's a 40,000 pound load of groceries. 146 miles, booked at $950. Got him $651 a mile. And finished off with Forest Park, Georgia to Tifton, Georgia. Short run, 44,000 pound load of roll stock. 173 miles, booked at $1,000. Got him $578 a mile. An excellent week for this carrier. $10,080 in gross for the week. Running Tuesday to Tuesday, ended up running 2,417 loaded miles at an average of 417 per loaded mile average in this vented van. Very, very well done. The next one is going to be a regular dry van out of El Paso, Texas to Sparks, Nevada. It's very light load, 8,000 pounds of auto parts. 1,165 miles, booked at $4,000. Got him $343 a mile. Then Fallon, Nevada to Union City, California. It's a 42,000 pound load of various food products. 295 miles, booked at $1,000. Got him $339 a mile. Then Fresno, California to Clarkston, Washington. This is a 43,000 pound load of fertilizer. Again, a non-hazmat load. 970 miles, booked at $3,500. Got him $361 a mile. And I finished off with Richland, Richland, Washington to Burley, Idaho. It's a 40,000 pound load of dry goods. 440 miles, booked at $1,700, which got him $386 a mile. Did very well again. Wednesday to Wednesday, grossed $10,200 in a regular dry van. Ran 2,870 loaded miles at an average of $355 per loaded mile average. Next, we're going to have a reefer coming out of Broadwater, Nebraska, going to Pasco, Washington. It's a 43,000 pound load of foodstuffs at 34 degrees continuous. 1,155 miles, booked at $4,510. Got him $390 a mile on a lot of miles. And on the way back, they took a load out of Richland, Washington, going to Fairborn, Ohio. 44,000 pound load of frozen foods at negative 10 degrees on a reefer. 2,232 loaded miles, or miles booked at $6,900. Got them $309 a mile, once again on a ton of miles. So all in all, these guys only ran 2 loads. This is a solo reefer, grossed $11,410 for the week, running Tuesday to Tuesday. Ran 3,387 loaded miles at an average of 337 per loaded mile average. Well done. Then we have a dry van coming out of Richmond, Virginia, going to Washington, West Virginia. It's a short run, 42,000 pound load of plastic resin. 392 miles booked at $1,900, got them $485 a mile. Then Heath, Ohio to Salina, Kansas, a light load, 8,000 pounds of insulation, 868 miles booked at $2,400, got them $276 a mile. And I finished off with Emporia, Kansas, going to Fernley, Nevada. It's a 42,000 pound load of feed supplement. 1,533 miles booked at $4,836, got them $315 per mile. And these guys ran Thursday to Thursday, grossed $9,136, ran 2,793 loaded miles, and at an average of $327 per loaded mile average. So as you can see, people are making money. Next, we got ourselves a reefer coming out of, it looks like a 2-pick 1-dropper, coming out of Clackamas, Oregon, and Union Gap, Washington, going to Aurora, Colorado. It's a 43,000 pound load of drinks and different types of flavors. It's a reefer, but this was a dry load. 1,350 miles booked at $4,500, got them $333 per mile. Then Greeley, Colorado to Ogden, Utah, 42,000 pound load of freight of all kinds, 0 degrees, continuous on the reefer. 484 miles booked at $1,350, got them $279 a mile. Then Springville, Utah to Redding, California, and Medford, Oregon. So 1-pick 2-dropper. 907 miles booked at $2,700, got them $298 a mile. This was a 38,000 pound load of frozen food and negative 1 degrees continuous. And they finished off at a Malin, Oregon, going to Bakersfield, California. It's a 44,000 pound load of floor loaded bulk potatoes, running 50 to 55 on a reefer. 588 miles booked at $1,800, got them $306 a mile. And that was it. They ran for 6 days, actually, from Wednesday to Tuesday. 6 days of work, $10,350 in gross for that 6-day period. Ran 3,329 loaded miles with an average of $311 per loaded mile average. Excellent. I mean, really good money in only 6 days. That's definitely a good job there. Next, we got ourselves a dry van coming out of Appleton, Wisconsin, going to Commerce City, Colorado. It's a very light load of snacks, 3,000 pounds of snacks, 1,056 miles booked at $4,000. I got them $379 a mile. Then out of Denver, Colorado, going to Cedar Rapids, Iowa. It's a 43.5 load of cardboard boxes, 799 miles booked at $14.10, which got them $1.76 a mile, going to Iowa. Now out of Waldorf, Iowa, they took a load going to Cleveland, Ohio. It's a 43,000 pound load of food ingredients, 579 miles booked at $2,000, got them $345 a mile. And out of London, Ohio, took a load to Butner, North Carolina. It's a light load again, 7,000 pounds of cleaning compounds, 474 miles booked at $1,800, got them $380 per mile. These guys ran for a week on a road, avoiding all the tolls to save money. They ended up grossing $9,210, ran 2,908 loaded miles at an average of $317 per mile. Got some super light loads as well as avoided tolls, so that worked out well. Next, we have a reefer coming out of Belgrade, Montana, going to Missoula, Montana. It's a 15,000 pound load of consumer goods, running 65 to 75 degrees on a reefer. 193 miles booked at $1,200, got them $622 per mile. Then 2-pick 1-drop out of Wenatchee, Washington, and Yakima, Washington, going to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It's a 43,000 load of potatoes, running 42 degrees on a reefer. 2,858 miles booked at $7,650, got them $268 a mile. And then out of Swedesboro, New Jersey, they took a load to Cleveland, Ohio, which is looks like a 40,000 pound load of mixed veggies, 45 degrees on a reefer. 447 miles booked at $1,600, got them $358 a mile. Now these guys ended up doing quite well. They ran Monday to Saturday, ended up running 3,498 loaded miles at an average of $2.99 per mile, so $3 a mile, and ended up grossing $10,450 on their mile. So very well done. We're going to finish off with a dry van out of Columbia, Pennsylvania to Mills, Wyoming. It's a 44,000 pound load of brass and bronze ingot, 1,730 miles, booked at $5,100, got them $295 a mile. Then Burlington, Wyoming to Washburn, North Dakota. It's a 45,000 pound load of seeds, 549 miles, booked at $1,700, got them $310 per mile. And finally, out of Minot, North Dakota to Delphos, Ohio, it's a 45,000 pound load of pea fiber, 1,119 miles, booked at $3,500, got them $313 per mile. So again, well done for all of these folks. These guys ran from Friday to Friday, grossed $10,300, ran 3,398 loaded miles at an average of 303 per loaded mile average. So you can see vans and reefers are still doing quite well, vented vans especially, and you can do the same thing. Right now is a very important time for you to have a strong dispatcher, because I'm telling you, all the flimsy dispatchers are going to be falling off to the wayside as the market continues to decline. This happened before, this will happen again, and this will happen more into the future. So while the opportunity's there, get with strong dispatchers. Whether you're a carrier or you're an owner-operator leased on with another outfit, make sure that you are not being overcharged. Make sure that you're getting top dollar from the market. Make sure that you're getting all the rate confirmations, and that the operating costs that the leasing companies are providing you are actually manageable, and that you're not being torn to bits in this market, as it will continue to likely decline. So all you have to do is get in touch with us for more information. Call or text us at 801-448-6363. Get more information on our website at aftdispatch.com/go. And you can also fill out our chat box on any one of our web pages. Leave your information there. We will get back to you and move forward from there. Until next week, guys, stay healthy, be wealthy. Bye-bye.